we're headed to Memorial Park. We're going to see if this works. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know. Marcus has all the confidence in the world that this is just going to be a no-brainer, no big deal to pick it up. It's going to carry the beer in the container over to a designated location for delivery. I'm not so sure. It might work. It might not work. All right, this is our experiment from scratch. Homemade drone waiter right there.
Cool.
Rough design, rough idea, but I think the concept should work. We're hoping. See, Marcus seems to think that the minute it gets airborne, it's going to immediately be able to pick up any object that it's carrying within a certain weight without any resistance or destabilization of the drone. I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. We're just going to have to find out. So we're going to go and do a test run and see how that works, and then take it from there. Well, Marcus is convinced we're just going to try this with a beer in it. Let's just see what happens.
You can't do it like that. It'll blow. That will be. No.
All right.
Put the beer in it.
Just like. Okay, let's.
Oh, whoops.
Now, when that becomes airborne, that's going to pull this over. So maybe we ought to move this like this. Get it closer so the drone can become airborne with relative ease, right? Mm-hmm. That's our destination.
Where?
71 feet.
That table right there.
Right here. 71 feet. Unless you want to go way back to that second table.
Yep. Or way over there. That's right in front of us. That's not impressive. I can throw you a beer. This needs to be a distance. There needs to be distance here. Otherwise, it's not. What's the point of flying it? Is that 4 feet?
The total distance from the beer can to the bottom of the leg should be about 4 feet. 30.
I don't think that's long enough.
39 and about 39 and about 8 inches.
I don't think it's long enough.
Well, give it a try. We won't know till we get it in the airborne. Told you this is. There we go. Oh my God! Oh my God! It's no problem at all. Can you fly it? But the drone adapts beautifully to it. How does it navigate?
Like normal?
That thing sounds like a swarm of bees.
Look at that. That thing is.
We're about 25, 30 feet up probably. 30.
48.
That's 48. It's just rolling with the punches. It's like it just adapts to whatever it's doing.
Can you go?
All right. You want to put a fresh battery in because that drains a lot?
Yeah. I've got all my batteries, so we've got 8 batteries.
All right. One battery for about 5 minutes worth of flight.
Well, I think we had plenty of battery left. I just being extra careful, so we don't have to kill it mid-flight.
Did you guys bring any spray with you? Are you guys getting bit?
I'm not getting bit at all.
Are you getting bit?
Yeah, a little bit.
Mosquitoes?
I don't know what it is.
A little silverware, bottle of water for good measure. Drone. You got the drone. I'm gonna head over there. Do I need my phone?
You want to put a memory card in that thing?
I think there's already one in there.
Nope. Or I wouldn't have got a message saying.
The pickup was fantastic. It was actually amazingly easy, but I think it did put a burden on the motors, because the minute we let go of the weight, it went woo. The engine left up. You'll hear it later in the videos, but I'm going to be able to record it with this.
Even more of a drain on it.
Huh?
If you're going to go that far out, that's going to be even more of a drag.
Well, but we're not
That
going to
way.
dance around with it like we did earlier. We're just going to go straight out and come straight back. Once he unloads it, then that stress will be
Right.
reduced, and it won't be that big a deal.
Right.
But and I think the other thing was that with it dancing around like that was making the motors work that much harder to stay stable. But the point is, they did with ease. I thought the craft would lose control. I really thought it would lose control. Be that smooth. I didn't think it was going to be that dang easy. Turns out it's actually quite easy. So now we're going to go about 300 feet to this table over here. The two that are right next to each other. I'm going to try to see if we can fly around a tree and bring it down just enough for me to pull the beer out without it losing control. We did it earlier twice actually, flawlessly. So this will be our final test to see. It's going to be cool. It's way more simple than I thought it was going to be. So we're going to set up here.
Control for the GoPro, for the
drone.
For the drone.
Mm-hmm.
Here we are. See? He's about to get it airborne now. We're probably from here 325 if I had to guess. It's hard to tell with this GoPro what that distance is. All right, she's en route. She's en route. We got the camera on the drone. Right there. That was just way too damn simple. Well, I think we're gonna have a beer. Oh, it's all foamy. Oh God, I want a refund. Oh man. That went perfect, didn't it? Did you see that? Dropped it pretty much right down. Actually, the ultimate test was going to be whether we can set it on the table. I don't know that that's necessary because it was still successfully delivered. The drone didn't crash. I could take the beer out of the cup and the cup lifted the strain off the motors and everything went perfect from that point on. I think it was perfect. Flew it back successfully. And my beer is all foamy. It's terrible. Terrible. I want a damn refund. So the whole drone waiter concept worked beautifully. Absolutely beautifully. Very successful. Can't wait to get this on the computer, see what it looks like. All right, we're going to do a drone on drone now for a little observation from a higher altitude. Well, it worked. It worked perfectly. I was incredulous from the very beginning this was going to work at all. I thought for sure the minute you applied weight to the bottom of that thing,
Did anybody notice he didn't say, okay, so?
we're outdoors.
You still didn't say it.
Okay, so we can get started. I still can't believe it worked. It was amazing.
Yeah, it worked better than I thought it. Well, no, I knew it was going to work. I just didn't know how well it was going to work.
Well, my original thought was once that thing becomes airborne and it takes on a weight load, it would disrupt flight. It would totally disrupt it and destabilize it. And if it did, I didn't know if we were going to be able to correct that. Turns out it was beautiful. Granted, though, we think we have potentially, we have one thing that occurred that we weren't expecting, and that's this business of swaying what appeared to be about 2 foot wide. Maybe
No,
more.
not 18
Maybe.
inches at the most.
Okay.
But it was moving.
It was moving.
But it didn't affect, and it wouldn't stop. I could not get that to stop it. Because even if you let the drone sit for 30 seconds sitting still, it would eventually stop swinging. But the second you started flying again, it would start back up.
Well, there may be, and we talked about this earlier, there may be a reason for it. We had about a 4-foot drop from the center of the drone. And that was for safety, so if it gets too close, it wouldn't buzz your head.
Yeah.
But we didn't anticipate this swaying effect that would occur. My thought is if you could shorten that length, the equivalent to the width of the lift part of the blades, which is the outer parts of the blades, and then figure out that distance, which is really about that. So what is that, about 19 inches, 20 inches, something like that? And then let that be the distance from the center of the craft down. That might completely eliminate that sway. It's only a guess. I'm not an engineer. I don't know. Does that make sense to you, though?
Or you could make it, I was thinking of if you were to make it fixed. So,
Or
now-
like a straight...
no, like 4 poles on each leg, and then make it put. But it would need to be. The problem with that is that's a full-on apparatus, because it would actually have the drone sitting 4 feet off the ground from takeoff. It would be sitting up here. Because I'm saying, like,
if you have a fixed...
yeah, like
Some
if you
sort
want
of
like a prototype, you would just use a cardboard box with walls, and then you could glue certain things in there to hold stuff in place. But it would be a box. It would be the base. I mean, it would be
the base of the legs.
yeah. It would, and then you put like dowel rods up, and then you'd have to find a way to fasten those to the legs of the drone. So now it's fixed. That's a little more weight. I don't think it's that.
It wouldn't be that much because you could use aluminum.
Well, a cardboard box. No, a cardboard. Well, if you're talking
the legs for the stability on the drone itself, that wouldn't add that much weight to it, I don't think. But I think that's probably, for what our purposes are, sort of unnecessary. But I would like to try it again with a shorter string.
You could bring a full meal over like that. If you put it in a cardboard box, you could have a plate with food on it, and then you bring that down and set it down to where it's touching the table. You unload it, and then you take off.
Reminds me, I never flew it with the beer in the container.
Yeah, you did.
By the way, it was a beer. It has to be a beer.
You did fly it with a beer in it.
Oh yeah. But you know what? It didn't feel to me like the motors were. I take that back. The motors were under a certain degree of strain because they were turning at a lower RPM, or at least they dropped in the sound that they normally make, that B sound when they're in flight. So, and when you take the beer out, you can hear it goes up. Well, when Marcus flew the thing out 300 feet to the table that I was sitting at, as soon as you take the beer out, it relieves that weight and it gives the thing a whole lot more power. I guess the question I'm leading up to is, what is its weight capacity? Is it 2 beers?
No, it's more than that. It did that easily, but let's find out. Oh, well, you continue talking. I'll get this set up to where I can get on the internet out here.
My thinking is from and I'm not, as I said, I'm not an engineer or anything, but my thinking is if
Clearly.
you got 19 inches from the outside of the blade, which is the lift, that's where the power is. You don't want to do it at the center where the motors are, because I don't think I think you need to. Well, you know what? Let me rethink that. Maybe the more closer into the center of the craft you get, no matter what, the better. And that. Oh, we got some kind of big old helicopter approaching us.
I don't know where it is.
It's right there. Wow! Yay! So anyway, thank you. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Yeah, could have quarter mile either way would have fixed it, but no, you had to go right at the hell over us. That's fine. Well, the more I think about this, though, I think if you put it closer to the center, in general, that would reduce the sway more so than anything else. But I think shortening the length of it certainly is going to cure part of that problem. I don't know if you can completely cure that to where it would fly virtually motionless or steady.
I don't think it would ever stop. I don't, unless it's fixed. Like I said, I don't think it ever would.
Well, nevertheless, it was cool. It was really, really cool, and I was really glad we did it. And so now, I think we kind of did this one. I think this one's done. You want to try anything else with it?
With the drone?
With the drone and carrying weight?
Not today. I think it's...
You have any ideas in the future? I don't know what else. Can the drone, in other words, can it be a service product,
Yeah, but it would need to be, you'd have to find something to connect, something that's... This was made specifically to carry...
You like my little drone? This was originally a spray bottle for carpet cleaning. I got it at Home Depot. Picked up some wire, easy to maneuver, and a lightweight little connector rod that connected the string to the drone and so forth. And it worked perfectly. I mean, it absolutely worked perfectly. I cut the length of the string. Each were exactly 90 1/2 inches in length. And then I just doubled them over, tied them in the exact same size knot with the exact same much amount of leftover so that both loops would end up right here and they would have equal amount of weight support rather than one being slightly longer than the other, which would put more weight on one side of the drone than the other. Therefore, you would have, again, you would be encouraging instability in the flight if you didn't have those strings perfectly. I figured that out the first time I configured it because when I set it up and I'd hold the drone up and I would put the container on it, I realized I had slack in one of the strings, and my first thought was, it's going to fly like this now, or whatever that percentage of that distance is going to be. So right there, we're at a disadvantage. So I thought, no, you got to recut them. It's going to have to be perfect. So I thought it worked out real well. These unique motors and the blades are much wider than some of the other drones, so I think the lifting power is going to be pretty cool. Do you have anything that indicates weight?
Well, that's what I'm trying to find, and I'm not seeing anything.
You're looking up unique products?
I don't think they want to tell you how much they can carry. I almost feel like they don't want you trying to carry stuff around with them.
Amazon,
What's 1,043 grams?
I don't do metric. I'd like to learn metric.
Oh, look at that.
I would like to learn.
It's
intense, right?
He's got the GoPro connected. He's got this.
He's watching a video on YouTube.
He's got
There's
this.
a basket. He's got a basket. There he goes. So he's picking something up. You can't see this, of course, but he's up 5 feet, though. See, he's...
That basket alone weighs...
But we don't know what's in it.
It's
the basket in the video is about that big. It may be
it
about
says
this tall.
It's 1,050 grams.
We got to convert that.
I don't know.
He just picked it right up, but he went up about 6 or 7 feet off the ground, though. Your question is that thing going to swing around like ours did?
1,050 grams, 2 pounds.
Little mathematic conversion here while we're doing an outdoor podcast in the park. We're at Memorial Park, by the way.
2.3 pounds.
I thought it'd be way. How many?
2.3 pounds.
Wow, we only picked up
12 ounces.
This in a 12-ounce beer. This is probably about 4 ounces, 5 ounces, so maybe a little over 1 pound. So we could double that theoretically. You know what we could do? We could do the drone waiter times 2, right? Build a double little container and put a couple of beers in there and maybe like a bag of chips on the side. And then fly. Nah, you don't want to do that.
That was Kevin. I had to let him back in the gate.
Oh, they must have gone out. Kevin's staying at Marcus's house.
That's 1,200 grams.
Well,
All right.
I think it went extremely well. I was really, really pleased about it. And I don't know. I think we gotta try something else. Any ideas out there? You got any ideas? Something fun that wouldn't kill it? I would like a weight test though. I think
Yeah,
maybe
but-
you go 2 16-ounce beers. That's gonna be 32 ounces. You know, that's
Well, that guy picked up 2.3 pounds. That's more than 32 ounces. So, and then he went up to 1,200 grams.
well, that would be closer to 2.5 to 2 3/4 pounds.
I don't
Right.
know, something like that.
We'll see. Well, let's go back and put all this together and kind of see what happens. This was really cool. This worked out beautifully. This worked out in the park instead of the damn living room all the time.
Yep.
All right, let's kill it.
Done.